O te whatalo whātua miksa moa I lau whawhonganga le nei tai au fōu, tai au manuia, tai au tutoa I le alofa ma le anga le lei o le atua. E le wale lei ma le fio atu le fionga le mauputasi, fionga le loia sili ma le mamalu o whatonu, ia e mese foi, pa ia le nei au fia. O te whatulau atuai o pa ia malu sa moa, tali tonu o le a o le o iai a wao pa ia ua, popo o se ala o. E tau ia ona o whape atu tulou na lava. O le tai au le nei, ua mātou o mai fo I e whaopopo atu se whamtalanga, ia a wā le tau mawhainga lau whainga mālo, mō le whamai o le COVID-19. O le tātou mawhtanga I le nei aso, o le a muamua atu se wholasanga le ofisa o le soifua mālolo ina, whamamalama ai fo I tūlanga o suenga, ma tūlanga o tui, ia mafuafuanga le tātou mtanga luenga, a wale puipuia o si o tātou atunuu. A maea o na tuatuleo le avanoa le fionga le loia sili, e whaasoa mai foi, ia wātu langa o le code red, ia ma le fuafuanga fōu leua, talia le fionga le kovana, mo le whaavanoa ina o le teimi a wāia, fuafuanga a inga I maliu. A mai a leo na tuatu leo lewa noa ia tātou media, ia moni fisili, fia malamala mai mta upu ese o lea tala noa ina. Ia ona whai watu leo le tātou aso I se saunuanga le fionga le maputasi, ia ma tātou tauma vai ai. Good morning, American Samoa. We are here today to provide another opportunity to update you on what has been happening with COVID-19 response to the community spread that we are currently experiencing. As you know, we provide press releases every night after 8 o'clock that summarizes the events of the day. And periodically, we will have these press conference opportunities to provide our media the opportunity to ask us live questions, and we will try to answer as best as we can. Our media in our community also has access to contact us by phone or email regarding any of the issues mentioned in our press conferences or in our press releases, so that we can provide you the most current information of what is happening. The same goes to members of the community who want to get better information or additional information than what we're providing during these opportunities. Please feel free to contact DOH office, contact the EOC via phone or email, and we will do our best to provide the most current information. Today we will start with the update from the Department of Health. They will provide an update of our response thus far, followed by a presentation by the Attorney General to further explain the status of our Code Red and the issues involved with that. And then we will open up for our media and other members who may wish to ask questions. And after that, we will close with the remarks from the Maputasi Maunga Suenga. Te mineo la tuatulua le vanoa le fionga le whatonu ia motusa.
Tā manuia I lua fionga, ma lo lava le onsai, whaftai atu tonu leua mawalunga mapoepue tūlanga nei tai au I le saunoanga lawa fionga. Ai whata alofa atu I le malu al tātou task force, ai mes fwoi paanga o loo tātou whatasi le nei tai au. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have here with me Dr. Lawal. She will be talking about discussing the testing, status of testing, and also our vaccines. I also have, we have Dr. Fiona with me. She will address what the plan for the FEMA DOD flight coming in tomorrow, and also address the 10th of March flight in regards to quarantine and how we're going to take care of those folks when they come in. So again, today is Thursday. We are conducting vaccination at our 3 sites. That is Samoana, High School gym, Tafuna Diwa, and also Leone Catholic Hall. We are also looking at conducting a drive-through vaccination this coming weekend. Will be open at the airport parking lot from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So most of you are looking forward for that. We will have some refreshments after you finish. So without further ado, let me turn over to Dr. Laval so she can address the testing and also the vaccine. Over.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. This is the latest report from DOH as of yesterday at 6 o'clock. Next slide. So that yesterday, a total number of tests that was conducted was 461. And the slide shows where each test were coming from, like from Tafuna, ACF1, Leone, Amauli, the CHC lab, LBJ Hospital, the airport from our flight yesterday, and the EMS, which makes up the total of 461 tests conducted yesterday. The total number of positives from all these tests is 41. So 41 tested positive yesterday. And I believe all these 41 positives should be served with directives for isolation. Next slide. So based on all that, so we have new cases. This is to update it. So we have, should be 41 cases. And there's a cumulative of positive cases since we start is 135. There was 17 people were treated. There's one death at the hospital other than COVID-19. We're still investigating this. There was one admission to the hospital, not for COVID, but for other reason why this patient was admitted to the hospital. Next slide. This is a map of where our cases are from. If you see, we can say hot zones is Nu'uli, Tafuna, and Leone. There's more cases coming from those areas. Next slide. So vaccination of those people that became positive, as you see, only 33 new cases, but total number of people that have full vaccinated with 2 doses is 114. And 1 and 4 has 1 dose. 11 of those, 135, don't have any vaccination at all. And there's people under 5 years old that are also tested positive since we started these. So the booster doses for positive cases, there's for the new cases, there's 8, and there's a cumulative of 19 people out of the 135 that have the booster doses. Next slide. These are the symptoms based on when we started on the 21st. These are it shows which people, how many people have symptoms and no symptoms. So the orange one shows people that have no symptoms. The blue one shows people with symptoms. As you see, 54 people complained with no symptoms. They were tested positive, but 81 said they have symptoms. So all these people, we've been calling daily to check on them, how they're doing. And some of them were already being treated for COVID-19 if they become symptomatic. Next slide. These are the COVID cases by age group and their vaccination status. If you see at the 51, 60 years old, most of them are fully vaccinated compared to our 31, 40 years old that we still need to work on them because there's a percentage of them that's has received no dose. Next slide. Looking at a number of cases that we have, it seems like there's more female than males from being positive with COVID-19, but we cannot make any real conclusion on that because we still have a lot of cases to look at and see if this is true based on what the population that we were testing. Next slide. Our test inventory. Next slide. So that's the number of tests that we have. Available tests is 9,340. Dr. Ifili already informed task force there's more tests coming with the FEMA team coming tomorrow, and I think over on Saturday we're receiving more tests. Next slide. We already discussed this on the Samoa flights, so we have flights coming in today to bring in, I think, between 30 and 40 travelers that are being in today. And after the flights today, the borders between Samoa and American Samoa will be closed. Next slide. We already discussed our Hawaiian Air flight yesterday. So the decision was for quarantine for 3 days. Next slide. That's it from our side. Our vaccination, I apologize, there's no vaccination slide, but we will conduct this vaccination today. So today we're conducting vaccinations at the 3 sites. As the director mentioned, is Tahafuna Diwa, Samona High School, and Leone Catholic. And then we'll have a drive-through on Saturday for vaccination only. Tomorrow will be our testing at our 3 sites. That's it. Thank you.
Dr. Fiona will address the FEMA plan of how we're going to lodge, provide lodging for them, and also our regular flight for the 10. Over.
Thank you very much. FEMA flight is expected to come in tomorrow. They are fulfilling all the normal, regular travel requirements, and they have registered through the Talofa Pass. We're expecting 55 of them and also 9 crew members. Similar to the Hawaiian Airlines, once they arrive at the airport, they will be immediately transferred over to the hotel that they will be staying in, and FEMA will be at the Tradewinds Hotel. They will be tested upon arrival. There will be restriction of their movement until Monday, that is 3 days later, where they will receive their second test. They have a mitigation plan. They are here to provide services and to assist us with this outbreak. They will be helping DOH, LBJ, and also our EOC. They will remain at the hotel until day 7, where they will be retested, and then they will be allowed no more restrictions. For the normal flight, which is our next one that's coming on March the 10th, we are expecting a full flight. The travelers have the similar requirements, just like every incoming traveler to the American Samoa through the Talofa Pass. We will be using Fatuainga, Sadie's by the Sea, and also the airport hangar for these travelers. They will be staying at the quarantine facility for 72 hours, where they will be retested on day 3. Once they are found negative, they will be sent home on home quarantine. The ones who are found positive, if there is any, we will assess them to see if they're symptomatic or not, if they need treatment or not. If they do, they will get the required treatment and then referred home on home isolation. Thank you.
Tono la toanga leo se mato whaasoa le nei tae o lau fionga. Ala toe tuat fol mato teini, whaftai tulava.
Tai lau fionga le whatonu te mineo la tuaturola vanoa e la fionga le loia sili. Ia mo sana whaasoa fo im ta upu o tato whamui moi.
Whaftai atu I lau o fionga I le Command Lieutenant. Ia whatulau fo im whatalo whatu I le paia ma le malu o le tatou watunu. O tau paia ma o tau mamalu. Ia wau ngata. Ia o paia ma mamalu mai le vavau e o lava I le whaavavau. O anafi na sainia I le polo inga fou tau whalavlave whafuasei so I fua maloloina I le fionga I le Kovansili ia ma o iei na iei inga I tau ona whapulatu I le malu o le tatou atunu e whaatau le tūlanga lea o le Code Red. Ia pei lava ona ta watu sistemi ua sola, e na o pisinisi ma na o mia po essential business e te tau ana tala. Ia ma o I tūlae te tala ai, o le 5 I le waweao I le 4 I le afiafi. O pisinisi e le ma na o mia, ia e te tau ana tapunia, luas fulfai tūlae I le aso. Ma o nei pisinisi po le lisi o pisinisi e le mana o mia non-essential business ia o loa watu I le General Memorandum ma le fionga I le Kovansili ia le lisi o nā pisinisi e le mana o mia e au fiai e whalitifanga ia whale whamalustino ia whapea fo I malai ta Apollo whale o tiai pe whafunga ailo wau nail salons ia whapea fo I tato community swimming pool, mea nei o bingo, ia ma pisinisi tau fulu ta'avale po car wash. E o foi tatou fundraising si e whai taftawhane o le alatele a le tatou malo ia o le a tauana tapunia a wale toi whaia. Ia o isi fo i o waia inga fou ia o lo o whamanino mai ai o pisinisi tāua ia mga luenga tāua le malo e au fia ia so ta inga whaapea foi ia tatou whalitupe ma construction po whausia o whale o lo o mana o mia ia o lo o whaatanga ina ia nā tūlanga. E tausanga atu le malu le tatou atunu wa iai nei le whaamalosina o le me tau le social distancing. E le ngata lai le whaongaina o le talifonga po le face mask. I so se no fuanga lava e whaatanga ai tangata lau tele o le malo. Ia public buildings, public places. Ia e tau foi ona iai ia social distancing. O le ono futu le vā pe siliatu o lea tangata mai lea tangata. So se whale lava o se pisinisi e mwhai ona oa i tangata lau tele o le tātou atunu. Tau ona ono futu ia pe siliatu. O lo whauau pēr le tātou vavao po le sā mai le iwa i le pō e tau le afol whā i le vaveao. Mai le teimio nei sā ia e le te tau o na toa iei se isi e whewa i lunga le altele ma o solo i whafo tau maota ma tau lawa. Tau o na nofo lei tono tau maota ma tau lawa. Ia vāngana ai lava tangata o lo o ngā lulua i pisinisi po o au nanga le malo. E tau pisinisi po o au nanga mana o mia. Mea nai whautangia mai le nei whaalinga a whaamolmole. O lo o whauau pēr le polo inga tā ua lea. Le luas fulwhai tū la. Whautua ina lava a inga e tau ana iai pēr tangata i tonu o lātou whale. A wane iso o na o i whafo. Me tau o le self-quarantine. Wangana ai se mea matua mana o mia lava. E le te tauna sona whewai i tangata o le tātou watunu uilunga o le tele, whafo. Whangana ai se mafuaanga mana o mia. Ia pei o leo atu i tau tui, whai tau tui, whai tau suenga o le koviti, ia o le whanamai, o e whaatau ia tau mafa se i tulou. Ia toinga activities na mwhai ona whai, ia e tau ana nofo lei tono o Mauta Malawa ia tangata o le tātou tunuu whaamolmole. Ia o taawale lau pāsese, ia o lo o mana o mia pēr, o se isi tono taawale lau pāsese, tau ona iai face mask, whaonga ina tātou face mask. O le isi iai inga tāua lava, ua whasa ina pēr ia meo public gatherings. So se potopotonga lava i so se no fuanga, ia ua whasa ina. Ai tasi ale exception, ia ufina ngalo ai le fionga i le kovana ma le fionga i le lieutenant kovana. Ia ona o le alo lofa i le malu o tātou atunu. Whea ngai ma maliu o e pele ia i lātou. O le exception lea ia mō tātou maliu. O lona winga, ia a whai e whai se maliu o le ainga, ia whamolmole. Tasi lava le aso le potopotonga. Pe fia potopotonga, tasi lava le aso, whaatau i le maliu. Se fulu ia tangata pe laititi ifo, le numera i to tonu o le mauta ma le lawa, sao na sili atu. A whai e iei nisi o i whafo, e sao na sili atu ma le luas fulu tangata. A nei teimi umalava, e te tau ona social distance, pe ono futu e vai tangata mai leisi tangata po tonu o le whale o whafo, tau ona social distance, tau foi ona whaile talifonga po le face mask. o le isi mea tāua e sāo na ieini tamaiti. Sfulu tasi tausanga pe ila loifo ia whamolmole ia nonofo I fale au ane I o mai I maliu. E whai tū la e whaatapu la ina pa ia ma le malu o le tātou atunu. E whai ai ia potopotonga o maliu. Mai ai le teimi e mai ai I tua le sā po le pusa maliu mai le whanmai. E taulawa le teimi wa umai ia le te wina po le whalausina o le maliu lea. Mai tau fo I ona wha umaina ia potopotonga malawa I le whai le afiafi. Whai le afiafi o le aso lava lea tau ona wha umaina ai. Ina ia ngā lulue whaatasi a ta ngā luenga o le mālo o le ngā lulue tau whai wha mālusia le tūlanga ma lea funeral policy. So se inga lava o fia whai sa lātou maliu pe a mai tua sa lātou maliu. Wha mole whafsotai mai le EOC. Numera o le telefonia le EOC o le ono iwa tolu valu o. Ono iwa tolu valu o. Ia o I lātou o le a coordinating na ma le ofisa o le soifua maloloina, tanga luenga soifua maloloina whapea foi ia le tanga luenga o puipuia le tatou saunga le mūlau tele DPS po leo ia awa le tatou liu. Ma o le tūlanga I le tapunia o le sā po le pusa maliu ia o le fuafuanga lava na e mai le whātou sili o le mtanga luenga o soifua maloloina. Ia, o nei o tonga nā mo o le tātou Code Red status, whapea foi le funeral policy, ia po ai inga mo maliu o le tātou atunu. Ai o le exception le nā, ia mo le no public gathering. O lo o whāwau pea le tapu po le sā o na poto tangata o le tātou atunuu ini potopotonga whalawai tele. Mai tā ua le tātou ngā lue whātasi. Ia il pitola au al tangata lava ia, a inga, whapea ia e kālesia, o nuu mawhioanga, ia whala potopotonga pisinisi. Ia male mālo, o na mwhai lea o na tātou manu I le nei whaamai o PCI I tātou atunuu. Ia male ngang whaaloalo whaafitai.
Tai lau fionga le loia sili ono le folsanga matangu fie. Tai tono le foi ua mawase malamlama anga le tātou atunuu. Ia inisi foi o tapu a wale tūlanga o le Code Red. Ai le itu ina atu lewa noa I a tātou news, media. E ina I whasara launga ia fia whaelo atu le tātou atunuu. O lea ua iai le malienga le task force, ma le ofisa o le mtanga luenga o le Human and Social Services, o lea amata I le vai aso fou, o na whaasosoa atu food stamps. So all recipients of food stamps, you will be notified of when the delivery or the distribution of food stamps will happen next week. After consideration by the task force, we are allowing those distributions to happen at the office in Utulei, limited to 100 per day. So please stay informed. More specific details will be provided by the Department of Human and Social Services and the Director of Muawai Fatasi, John Suisala. O se whapoponga atu nai tūlanga o tātou food stamps, o na ua iele langona, ia o tō tele whaile atunu ua mana o mia ia tūlanga o Soswani lea. O le aso foi mai la savareile o lo fuafua le ofisa o le litaia, mo ai se avanoa I la tōu e angawaa, e piki ina la tō siaki litaia, o uma o na sotai foi mai le tātou task force, ma o le a ngā lulue, ia le ofisa o tātou leo, ia ma le ofisa o le Homeland Security, ia ngā lulue whātasi ma le ofisa o le litaia ina ia mawhai, o na matuu atu ia siaki ai la tōu o mana o mia foi. O le tūlanga ia tātou ideal immigration, ma tātou laisene ia o loo ngā lulue pea ia ofisa ia ina ia mawhai o na maua se awanoa e whaafou ai ia ID ma laisene ua expire. Nā wasau no atu le fionga le loia sili ia tātou tūlanga o maliu. O le tātou malanga mai a pia, nā foi ua umana whaasoa atu ia sunga e rifo mai, o le aso ana nafi e 5 i lātou na taunu manuia mai la tawhainga malanga. Manuia la tu suenga i leila sesi na test positive. O le aso o lo fuafua e whaasifulu i lātou o le whai malanga mai. Ia a taunu manuia ia fuafuanga, ia ona toa i leo le iwa sutolu pa sese ua matuu mai i Amerika Samoa nei o tātou a tangata nuu sa o atu fo ia pia o no iso fuafuanga o a inga ia mai lātou sa o atu e whaafoa lātou visa. Happy to report that we have successfully repatriated 53 of our residents from Apia yesterday, and we expect to add another 40 today. And then, as the doctor has said, after the flights today, we will officially close our between us and Apia for incoming flights. The Lady Naomi will continue to sail under the same conditions as any other container ship entering the port of American Samoa. So don't worry, we will continue to have access to Apia. It's just at this moment we will limit the traveling of our people for the time being. Ia o se whapoponga lea i tato update mo nei aso, le atu atu loa lewa noa i tato media mo ni Fisili. This is now an opportunity for our media to ask questions, follow up, and we will try our best to answer. Thank you.
Good morning, Lieutenant Governor. It's Healy from Samoa News.
Talofa Sili.
Ta'amulmole Lava, I have a follow-up question with Dr. Lauvao. On the slide, it showed one death. Could you elaborate, just clarify that this is related to COVID or unrelated to COVID? And then for the Lieutenant Governor, Ta'amulmole Lava, people that are being laid off or out of their jobs at this point due to code red restrictions, any assistance in the future for them or now? Thank you.
Right.
Hi, sorry, I'm Dr. Fiona. To answer the first part of your question, the death is unrelated to COVID. So yes, we do have one death, but that is not related to COVID. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fiona. Lieutenant Governor, any financial assistance for our people that are laid off or any federal help?
Well, we have received a lot of federal assistance. As you know, everybody received benefits last year, and so we continue to get the food stamp program and other benefits like that to help folks who are laid off from their jobs. We are continuing to, today, the other thing that I didn't mention is we are starting mass food deliveries to the families who have tested positive, and that is happening today thanks to the assistance of the Department of Education and the Office of Samoan Affairs. The EOC through Director Samana will coordinate delivery of these foods, and that's expected to last 14 days. There is no, at this point, Philly, there is no new federal program available to provide new assistance to any employees who are laid off. But we will continue to explore those avenues. And as you know, FEMA is arriving tomorrow, and we are in constant discussion about those type of things to assist laid off employees. We are also, at this moment, in discussion with StarKISS to restart their operations. Those discussions are not completed yet, but we would like to reach some type of agreement so that many of our community who work at StarKISS can go back to work safely and earn a living for their family. Same thing with other businesses in American Samoa. We will slowly provide opportunities for them to ramp up their operations and bring their employees to work. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. You just answered the other portion of my question. Manuel Leaso.
Good morning, Governor. I'm not Lieutenant Governor. This is KVZK. A very quick question to follow up on what the Attorney General was referring to with regards to the funeral restrictions. Whaamolea ole onole tapu lewe fai taimile nei. We are also getting a lot of questions from some business owners, especially those. I know the Attorney General has just referred to non-essential businesses, which includes the barber shops and that. Ale talasanga na business na le fai mai whaamole pe ole ase finangalo o le task force malemalo ai pe mawhai fo ona tala lato ai whaatapula atangata I te tono o lato bisinisi ona ole nau ta inga nei o lato fo e whamoe moe tupe maua mai ia lato ta mai bisinisi nei e o lai matatongi ia lato pili pe ona masaniai po le asfina ngalo le tato task force. Olesio Officili, I only have two questions to Dr. Fiona. I missed a bit of that slide that came on with regards to the flight arriving on Thursday. I believe that if I can remember correctly from the slide, is that they're only going to be quarantined for 5 days. If they are treated, if they test positive and they are asymptomatic, they can still be released home. Sorry, I missed that little bit of your. Can you explain that a bit, Whaamolea Fiona? Thank you, Lieutenant Governor and the task force.
Thank you very much for the question. Because we have community outbreak, we have shifted our policy, and now because we have the activation of our EpiNet and surveillance team, anyone found positive will be assessed by the physician. They will receive treatment if they fit the criteria. They will be taken over to get treatment over at the treatment site, which is our ACF. However, if they are asymptomatic or if the physician feels that they are safe to go home and do home isolation, the EpiNet team will be calling them, getting updates from them on a daily basis. If the physician feels that the symptoms are somehow getting worse, that person, that individual will be transferred over to the treatment facility to get the treatment. However, if they are asymptomatic, because we know that we can have some positive asymptomatic people, they will remain under the watchful eyes of the EpiNet and surveillance team. They will be called upon every day to assess them until the incubation period is over and they are cleared to be able to go, out of their home isolation directive or home quarantine for the exposed family members. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ia, lausunga tupua se tari atu le whaafsilia lausunga e whaatau I whale I e whaafunga ia o le malu le tunuu. Wa malulu atu I nai pisinisi na I le teimili nei au tatou iai le tūlanga mumu ia o le tuainga pisinisi na o loo tā ua o le pisinisi e le manaumia. Ai le malu le tunuu o loo fia whaafunga pe o tilo lawao ia whamolmole whail nā tūlanga whaatino nā tūlanga I lau maota ma lau lawa. Se iai se teimi o lumanai ia o na whapea mai lea o le ofisa po le mtanga luenga o soifua malo loina. Ia e saonga le mu le whainga o le nātua inga pisinisi. ia ona whaatanga atu fo i lea ma le whaaloalo.
Chief, I'm just one more. No, Lena, the Sao le tato emergency declaration le na Sao o fa mai uma le tato tapu le so mua o le tato shutdown le so mua aperila mwhaina wha maonia me le tūlanga lea wha mole instead of the 8th.
O se I whapula atua o le tato declaration le na o in effect until April 1st. A le tūlanga I le code red. Ia, e pule lava le fionga I le Aliko Vansili whapea foi le Lieutenant Kovana. Po le ale teimi e whaangata I le code red, pe wha umal vai aso fou, ia po le isi vai aso I tuatu. Ia aile I o ia apelila mua. A o le declaration, o le polo inga whalau I tele, whalavlave whafua sei tau so I fua malolo ina. Ia, na saimia nafi. Ia a le umi in effect aile polo inga lea. Ia o le umina ia apelila mua em whaiau na iei suinga o le tato code ia I se whautuanga mai fo I le tanga luengo so I fua malolo ina.
Okay, Fiona Famalmole, I just have one more question. I'm sorry. Can I ask why the death was listed on your slides when it's not COVID related? Is that a fair question, Fiona?
Thank you, Kosi, for the question. This is KVZK. So the report from LBJ and DOH, we put it together to report the number of admissions and the number of deaths that's recorded at the hospital. So we are responsible to report that. But at the same time, there's one, but we're still doing investigation to see the full history of this one death, because we said it's other reason. It's not for COVID, but we still need to do the investigation for this one. That Dr. Ifidi right now is doing the investigation for this one to confirm the cause of death for this one. Thanks.
Yeah, whaftai lava. Thank you very much. E manuia lava tiu te mawhai volonea, so whaftai lava whionga le Lieutenant Kovana ma le pai o le tatou task force. Whaftai lava.
KHJ News, this is Joey Cummings. Are boosters mandatory for ASG employees?
Thank you, Joey. At this point, it is not. It is highly encouraged, and there's a recommendation, but there has not been a final decision on mandating that. But we have mandated the 2 shots, and we are encouraging everyone, not just the employees of the American Samoa government, but all the people of American Samoa who are eligible to please take advantage of the booster shot.
So there are no proposed suspensions for employees that have not received boosters?
Not for the booster shots.
Thank you very much. In past conferences, you've said that we're in the phase of operations where we learn to live with COVID. What is the task force's general strategy in this regard? Do you think we can get the number of cases back down to 0, or are you just trying to keep the numbers manageable for the sake of our hospital capabilities?
Thank you, Joey. The goal of the task force is to do both, try to control the spread and try to implement ways for us to learn to operate our lives with COVID here in American Samoa. And so that means doing things such as masking and social distancing, and also to get vaccinated and tested periodically. And slowly we will, as you notice, we still have quite a bit of traffic on our roads. People are going to stores, and some of the bigger stores are operating. And our goal is to slowly allow more traffic to go in those stores, provided that the basic means of protection are observed and taken care of. So that is the vision of the task force, is to slowly move us away from code red and get to a phase where we can operate our lives with some consistency and instead of living week by week and wondering whether there's going to be another extension of Code Red.
Excellent. Is there a plan for a backup plan for complete and total shutdown of the island, such as happened in Samoa, if case numbers reach high enough? And if so, what is that threshold that you would use to determine a complete and total shutdown was necessary?
Those are all very good questions, Joey. Like I said before, the decisions on where we move, where we pivot, will depend entirely on what we see on the ground and the recommendation of our medical community, which also includes the recommendation and assistance of our federal partners. Our FEMA partners have been in close contact with us, and they are advising our local doctors on where to proceed. The idea of a complete shutdown is something that is not off the table, but it's not, in my mind, the first response at this point. Since we have COVID cases, we will monitor, obviously, the numbers of confirmed cases and also the number of hospitalization. So far, we have not received any confirmed cases of severe hospitalization due to COVID, and we are also very thankful that that is the case. And as long as we can maintain that, we think we have more options rather than going straight to a complete shutdown.
Thanks. That's great feedback there. And my final question regards, if there have been any developments regarding meal distribution for school children?
Thank you. This is a program that is handled by the Department of Education. They have a plan to start distributing coupons to the families of school-age children so that they can purchase food items for the children during this time of COVID Code Red shutdown. There's also work to be done with PEBT, which is a program to reimburse children who are missing out on school lunch. That calculation cannot be completed until the end of the school year, and then students will be notified on how much they will be entitled to. But for the time being, we have, the Department of Education is putting together a plan. Actually, I have the plan, but it has not been reviewed by the task force. And once that is done, they will proceed to distribute those coupons to the students' families so they can get food items during Code Red.
Tailama.
If there's no other questions, Joey has asked, this is Monica at KHJ News. Joey has asked several of the questions. But in the United States on the West Coast, Dr. Samoa, who's been a noted authority on stopping community spread, he pointed out that when you have home isolation in a typical Pacific Islander family, it's not the same as telling a Palangi family to isolate. Has the task force looked into this and how it's contributing to the community spread? That's my only question. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Monica. Hope you're doing well. The task force and the and the medical community have considered this as well. And just because it's difficult doesn't mean we don't do it. This is not an easy operation. It's not an easy job. But if we quit everything because it's too hard, then we will never get anywhere. So yes, we will try, and we will try as hard as we can to make sure that we get somewhere. Unfortunately, that is the best option that we have, is try to ask people to stay home and help us control the spread. At the same time, we are reviewing our plans to move forward with life and learn to live with COVID, or COVID safe is our new mantra right now. We have COVID in American Samoa, and we'd like to make sure that everyone is safe.
I just wanted to explain myself, Rauwhionga, Lieutenant Kovana. No, I meant that in a typical home, Parangi home, Western home, you would have rooms that somebody could isolate in. But in our typical Samoan families, every room is a common room. That's what I was referring to, and whether this is taken into consideration. Rough type.
Thank you. Yes, they have been taken into consideration. Any other questions?
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. I have no questions.
Okay. I want to thank all of you, our media partners, for participating in our press conference today. We count on you to distribute and explain to our public accurate information about our efforts. And if there's any part of our discussion today that is unclear, please let us know, because we want you to obviously tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Te minei, ia o la tuatu lo le vanoe le fionga al maputasi, ia mo sana saunuanga, ia e wha umma ili tatu whelua inge le nei aso.
Afkai le o fionga, i te kovanga le fionga o koa, na swapo e hoi le fionga kovanga na kapineto, e te apo e malu kapineto, Ia bisa formai, ia bisa formar o moe o ia bisa fai ba na ko e kulan ko i a me vai me ko ko ka malo ro fio ma cresqueira a mole ko com fica lá so vi filia cuida mo da o fio foi fam sem lá é uma fam small e vece pouco é pouco uri levo e faz assim uma oficio com Samoa faz caiaco le usar caiaco le loquete leo lukia cuido mo ma fainga ka ko le ngi ngalu fa mai ko vese ko su maliva ai fa kai le lofo le ko o le lava ka ko mapu madie le ia se sua Maliu po a whainga I kulanga o long soifua. Except me leu mo ai ka koi I whamai lea. O le ngangala le kamwhai ako le whionga le car man malu o nge task force. Pei lava ka longom whakuak pia le malu le kungu. O mai ka ko ngā lue whakas. Le ia se skei me le mawhai fo se ngā luenga. Patonia sa manga ma mo tsama fo mai ia. Mako uma, a whaise mea, te longa e kako au wakasi. O whainga ka o solo aku I whama I whafo I kulanga o ainga. Ia, e mo ia walu rungu mela I lunga. A ia ma waa a kako loko. Ma waa I kulanga I kako I loa, o I loa. E whainga kako whaia me uma, e whakasi mai o lea kua. O mako uma ia, salo ngā le lo ia siri, o ia o lea waa. Ai mako kalo pea le kua ma mako whai kau. Le upo le li ngā whai a Iosua. Ia e loko kele. Ia aunga I e whethe. Se mea e ke aru I ai o ke whakasi a ke oe. Ia kuila mungua ngā ke iloa. Le ngaka ia kuila mungua e mesi laku Samoa I ngei o ngapo. Ai mesi fo ilala langi lewa ka umai lewa maka I ka whakou e wao malo. I ngā oi ulopa. Ia, ka koui o ka kuma malama kuspa ia, o ngapo nge ia. A le nganga I ka ko mo wa lava, ka ko ngofo kalo I le kua. Ka ko sa vali kusa o ka po inga le whai lau whenga ruanga le kua. Po mahao hao mo po, so se ka le sia lava. O le karkongo, o le whionga ko vanga ma, le lukia ko vanga mako, ele o malolo, ele o malolo. Le fua le ka ko alo mai ngi ka eo, ia le ka ko ngā lue whakasi lava. O le nganga, man mako kat kongua, o whai o lo kui. Whai lo kui, whai mo lo pusta, oe mo lo wainga, ka mam ki ngā along whangau, ngu o mai whianga, me mo mua ngā. Ia, sa wawari lola i el code red lea, o wha leo ako i la whianga lo ia siri, ia mise se, langal car ma di ngi task force. Inga ia mo ngui ka ko ngu, wha mo mole kuila mo ngua sa wawari, ma kosi kulanga ia, aonga i ei sesi, ia e alo ese mo kulanga kusa o whaka, singo lima kusa o le code red. Le ua ia le alo malon le whionga le komsinga, le ua ua ia le official mga uko Samoa, ia e misi la ko Department of Health, ia wape foi le kulanga le Homeland Security, ia maa, aenga umar malo, ka ko la langa whakasi se while mu, a ia sefer ka kua kungu. Le umu foi ka penga ku mea ka mawha i kulanga o la kouro, i quarantine i mahoka malawa, ia lava le ungsai, lava le ungsai. Ia ka ko ma wa pere le ri. Ka ko lo le ia, o le ka ko whai seu mangu. Seu se mangu kuila mungua. Ia ae wa. Ia ka ko le lo le kuinga whai kau i ngalu ia wa mai. Ia. O ngalu fo ia ka ko i loa. Ka whai a ka ko ngalu ke lea whamai. E fo i ka ko mai ngat. Ke le o mea wha alongo ke kupu pea e kongo ka ko ngu. Ia. O whakama i o ko maiki. Ki ngā. Ia mesi fola au whasainga. Ma isi a mea ia leo le lei. Ia lango le lei ka ko sa lo malu lua e le sa kuina mua. Ia. O wala ke ia leo whasa mua. O ke mawa whawanga oe. Ia. O pua le ri o le kasi are mele i ngei lalangi. Me fo i le kupu ngei lalangi. O le savali kuto whingalo le lei. Ia mua le kua lo lofa. Longa lua lo lofa. Ave mo lo usu mo lo kufa. Ma lisi ka ngaka. Mau penga longa mai lau kele lau langi. A oi maa au kuila mungua. Wha pe foi a oi pule me kumua. O lea lava e kako pii. Wha vaenga mai e kako kua. Ia mua le kua. I mea uma mua le kua. O lea lava mea e kako i loa. E o mai a kako. O kako i loa e mawa i mea. E ngango le kua. Ia e munguia. Munguia le kungu. Munguia fia ko nuken kovanga marka pingeka. Manguia lau fionga place kenge, o kalai mauro fongo lau fionga le. Pamsing City. Ia, ai mesi lau whainga ruenga le kua. Ia manguia fo ngi kumiki. Ia manguia le asu patai.
Ma no te noa. Ia mik Samoa na ua tulei le fionga le maputasi. Ia o te mafo o tatou atunuu. Ia mo se lapta inga fo ia mesi o whamanuianga i si o tatou atunuu o tatou whiangai ai. Ia matulanga o le nei whamai. Ia tātou lava pale pea. Ioi lava ina o mai le whamai i Amerika Samoa. Le ai e le o whaititia ai le ngā lulue a lau whainga mālo. Tātou ngā lulue whaatasi. O na tātou o ai le situlanga manuia. Manu te le ina ngā luenga o le nei aso. Ia lofangia foi le tua le au whainga luenga. Li fo mai matamaitai o fo mai. Malu le mālo lo fia ngai mo le tātou atunu. Manuia foi le tātou komiti nei, le fionga le loia sili, e mese o le whaton sili o le soifua mālo ina. Ia tātou moa pele file mu mai le alii, ina i mwhai on tātou whaatino ina nei ngā luenga i le alofa. Soifua Amerika Samoa, manuia le nei aso whaftai.